It's officially portal season for Texas Tech men's basketball, and a dead period is set to begin on Thursday. But there's some trends developing from early targets for the Red Raiders in the portal. What are they? We'll discuss that, as well as 3 of the latest portal targets by your Red Raiders in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in to all the basketball coverage we've had here on the channel all year. It really means the world. We've had amazing growth. We just continue to top my wildest imagination. So I want to say a sincere thank you. And if you haven't joined the Back to 12 squad yet, the easiest way to do so is like the video and hit that subscribe button if you want 100% free Texas Tech portal content, as well as Texas Tech football content and men's basketball content all year long. All right, let's get into this, because there is 3 players that we're going to talk about in today's video that I think you're going to notice the trend on a couple of them, and we'll kind of go over that while we're breaking them down in terms of their scouting report. But also, there's a guy on here that I think is going under the radar right now that a lot of Texas Tech fans haven't heard of, that I think Texas Tech is actually being pretty damn aggressive about in the portal. And we've talked about him over on the Scarlet and Black Insider. Actually, we talked about him about 24 hours ago. So if you want the latest information in terms of, it takes me a while to get these videos out, people. I got a 9 to 5, you know what I mean? So that's where we put the info first. So Jacob Harris, Austin Massey, and I'd like to thank myself, are doing a great job of keeping y'all updated over there. So be sure to go check that out as well. But let's jump into it. Tru Washington, the guard from New Mexico, is the first player we're going to start out with. He is 6'4", 195 from Phoenix, Arizona. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. He started 33 games for the Lobos this past season. That team made it to the round of 32, actually beat Shaka Smart's Marquette team up in Cleveland in the first round of the NCAA Tournament. Washington averaged 11.1 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and just under 2 assists per game, 1.9 to be exact. While the lefty shot 35% from 3, he has a strong finish on the left side, and he is a strong and sturdily built lefty, and he had a 19.5 usage rate as a true sophomore, playing alongside arguably the best point guard in the country, if not the best. He's definitely in the conversation, in Donovan, who has now since transferred to UCLA. Washington has active hands, and that's where he stands out on tape to me the most defensively. He is an absolute bona fide dog. I mean, he is not afraid to do the dirty work whatsoever. Averaged 2.1 steals per game, and he can play physical defense on the perimeter without fouling at a high rate. He is a good, solid rhythm shooter. He struggles to shoot off the bounce. If we're just going to be cold cut and honest about it, like, he's good catch and shoot, struggles off the bounce. But he's a much better shooter on the left side of the floor than the right side of the floor. I don't think that that's a crazy thing to think about when you think that he is left-handed. As a spot-up shooter, he ranks 73rd percentile and always has his hands ready in the right spot to shoot, okay? He's just always prepared if he's playing off ball to shoot the ball from deep, right? He's also an underrated passer. Remember, I said that they had Donovan, who is a really good point guard, so obviously you're going to have the ball in your hands if you're the Lobos in terms of, hey, Donovan, here you go. You're the primary guard, right? But Washington, he is an underrated passer, in my opinion. He had a 12% assist rate and is extremely patient in various sets that allow plays to develop, but he's not over patient in terms of, he's just not dribbling the basketball to dribble the basketball and take a crappy shot late in the shot clock. He's letting the play develop. He's really solid in the screen and roll game as well. And again, it throws defenders off a little bit. Him being left-handed, he has better angles, as well as being 6'4", helping him out as well. I will say, in the pick and roll, he's solid. I think that's the best word to describe him right now. He can improve there, but he struggles going right. Just simple and plain. He does in some situations, but you see the flashes there. And I think if he did become a Red Raider, Jeff Linder and crew could really help him develop going to the right side of the floor. Now, overall, watching the film, in my opinion, you can see why Texas Tech likes him. He's a physical guard that understands how to score, can play on or off the ball. He's an active defender with plenty of room to grow offensively. And the best part about it is, like, you can see the skills. You can see the traits where it's like, okay, with the right coaching, he can elevate his game and experience as well. I think he'd be a solid fit for the Red Raiders. He'd be a solid 2-guard alongside Christian Anderson, who presumably will be your PG1 next year. And he's a guy, again, as I mentioned, I think Jeff Linder, as one of those guard gurus in college basketball, could really elevate his game. All right, we're going to stay in the Big 12, and we're going to head out west. We're going to go out to BYU and discuss Cannon Catchings, the forward at BYU, 6'9", 185 from Brownsburg, Indiana, actually played for Overtime Elite down in Atlanta before that. Now, he is a true freshman. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining. After playing his true freshman season out there in Provo, he averaged 7.6 points per game, 2.3 rebounds, and about 17 and a half minutes per game. Not a ton of production, but again, there's some solid traits here, okay? Shot 35% from 3 on 4 attempts per game as a true freshman. Solid stuff. He is a long, rangy player that still needs to fill out his body. Again, 6'9", 185. You'd like to see him closer to 205 if we're being honest about it. He shot north of 46% from the left corner. Is an elite catch-and-shoot guy. And again, elite catch-and-shoot guy, in my opinion, in terms of the percentages, is above 85%. He's an 89th percentile guy when it comes to catch and shoot. Now, he's also a solid, maybe great is a good word to say, in terms of spot-up guy, 77th percentile there. Not good at shooting off the dribble, though. Just he's not right now in this part of his career. He's actually 17th percentile in that regard. Not good at all. But you can see at times that he has the ability to do so. He's just, again, it feels like he's kind of learning his body a little bit, but he's athletic enough that he's going to be a solid contributor. And then once he gets in the weight room a little bit, once he has a few more years under his belt, or even just, a few more games, maybe, that 10 to 15 range, you could see him take that leap in terms of living up to some of the potential he had, where he was a pretty high-ranked recruit coming out of high school. He has flashes when running off the ball and getting screens. He's 58th percentile there, not consistent, but I think that's more of just, again, continuing to develop his body and understanding it. I think he can drastically improve in a lot of these departments, including off the dribble shooting. And then when we're talking about the pick and roll, off ball screen cuttings type stuff as well. Watching him, he reminds me of a more athletic Kerwin Walton with probably a tier or two lower of the shot making ability in terms of just shooting. But Catchings is a better defender. There's no doubt about that. He can guard 1 through 4. You probably feel better about 1 through 3 just because of the lack of weight that he currently has. But I think he would be a really solid add to the rotation with a chance to develop into a starter down the line and maybe be a starter right away if he does put on some weight this summer. But right now, I think he'd be a really solid 6th, 7th man on a roster and a key player in a rotation with the chance to develop into being a guy that plays starter-type minutes down the line in Big 12 play. All right, one more guy, and this is the guy that I don't think Texas Tech fans are talking enough about. There hasn't been a lot of buzz, but shout out to Jacob Harris and Austin Massey over on the Scarlet and Black Insider. I mean, I'm telling you right now, people, it takes me a minute to make these videos. It really does. It just doesn't just happen, But those guys have done a fantastic job of keeping everyone updated on the fastest growing Texas Tech message board, Scarlet Black Insider. I would highly recommend you go check out SBI today if you want to know this information right away. And then I'll kind of give my scouting reports on here maybe 48 hours later. But if you want to stay in the know right away, that's the place to do so. All right, this is a guy that they broke down in terms of, hey, Texas Tech has actual genuine interest here. Now, we want to preface this. It's the portal. Because they have genuine interest now does not mean they're going to have genuine interest in a week, let alone tomorrow, okay? It's the portal. Things change in the blink of an eye. People have to understand that. But this is a guy that I think would be a really solid addition in a veteran-type presence that is maybe one of the best in terms of this specific trait we're going to talk about in the entire country. And that is not me trying to oversell it. Listen to these numbers. Here we go. Donovan Atwell, a guard from UNC Greensboro. He is 6'5", 190, originally from Huntersville. Excuse me, not Huntsville. Huntersville, North Carolina. He has 1 year of eligibility remaining. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like shooters because this might be the best one in the portal this portal cycle. Not a hyperbole. Here we go. Atwell averaged 13.3 points per game last year to go along with 13.4 rebounds in 2024 and 2025 at UNC Greensboro. Now, he is one of the best shooters in the country, okay? He shot 40.2% on 7.5 three attempts per game. Let me repeat that. 40.2% on 7.5 3-point attempts per game. That is absolutely bonkers, okay? He is a career 39.3% three-point shooter, and he's done so on 537 attempts. That is an insane percentage on an insane amount of attempts, okay? He is an active spot-up shooter who understands spacing well, and his hands are always ready to shoot. I think the biggest compliment I can give him in terms of what I've seen on tape and watching him is he has an extremely high basketball IQ when he is off the ball. That's not to say that he doesn't have a high basketball IQ with the ball in his hands in terms of running the pick and roll, but I think he is elite when it comes to off the ball, understanding spacing, trying to find the best spot for his hands to be actively ready, shoulder square to shoot the ball. He does so at an insane level, in my opinion. Now, he's an excellent pick and pop guy as the primary ball handler. I don't really like him as the roll guy in terms of if he has the ball in his hands. He's not great at getting to the rim, right? He's not great at setting the screen. But in terms of if he's the primary ball handler and you're playing pick and pop in terms of, hey, you take the screen, but instead of going to the rim, you jump back and you shoot the three, he's got you. I mean, the lefty is sensational at shooting the basketball. I mean, you heard the stats, a career 39.3% three-point shooter. Again, watching him on film, I just love watching him run off the ball and find space off screens. He just does so and reads a defense at a really high level. He understands leverage well, reads a defense well to create the maximum amount of space to shoot from deep consistently. It's not just one or two times a game. He understands how to find space consistently. And also, he's a decent rebounder. Again, he's not going to go and lead Texas Tech in rebounding if he was to come out to the 806, but he'll get you 3.5, 4 rebounds per game. I think that's in the range we're in. Overall, though, I would love to see Atwell be in the scarlet and black. I truly would. We mentioned Catchings in terms of being a more athletic and defensive-oriented Kerwin Walton right now. I think Donovan Atwell is the guy that I would love to see Texas Tech land most in terms of a Kerwin Walton replacement. He is a guy that I think could give you high-quality starter-type minutes any given night. Think KO this year, but with experience and an understanding of their game at a much more mature level. And a guy that you don't really have to run a play for too much unless you want to run something off ball. He can also guard 1 through 3. He's a target for the Red Raiders right now in the portal, and maybe we hear more about him going into the dead period, and the dead period is set to start on Thursday. I believe that is April 3rd, and go through the 10th. But this is a guy where I would not be surprised if you hear over the next week that Texas Tech is trying to get him on campus, and he does inevitably end up on a visit for the Red Raiders. But again, I want to preface this. It's the portal, people. Things change overnight. I mean, you can like a guy now, someone else enters, and it's like, see you later. We're going to talk to that guy. But Atwell seems like a pretty high priority, and Texas Tech looks like they're going to be heavily involved in his recruitment. All right, again, the names to know from today's video: Tru Washington, guard from New Mexico. You've got Cannon Catchings, forward from BYU, and then Donovan Atwell, a guard from UNC Greensboro. That's going to do it for today's video. Y'all popped off on that last video, though. I see you. Over 6,000. I think we're at 7,000 views when it comes to that video. If you want more of these portal target videos here on the channel, all you got to do is like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube for updates on your Red Raiders, whether it's on the hardwood or the gridiron. We've got you covered right here on the most engaging and most interactive Texas Tech YouTube channel in the Back to 12 podcast channel. And as always, you know what to do. Stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.